Hello and welcome back. Northstar here with another Hearthstone 4. Got the Damarun single player US Socialist run. Let's play. I think this is episode 13 now, including an interlude or strategy session or something at one point. If you look at the number of views, it does seem to match up. Started the recording right here during the loading screen. Which I often don't. It does give me a sec to, as this is loading, talk about where things are going. First of all, I'm very close to the second U.S. Civil War breaking out. The Neo-Confederates are going to rise up. I'll have to crush them. I'm tempted to not take foreign volunteers and stretch out a little for extra build slots and factories and training of generals. There are obviously consequences of that, including more manpower getting sucked into the meat grinder of the war. Why is this? It doesn't load this slowly normally. Maybe it's because I'm recording already. But if I don't do that, I fear I may be a little short on industry to deal with the combined forces of quite possibly Germany, Japan, Sweden, and the UK. I could probably handle it regardless, but it'll be easier with extra industry, I assume. I'm a builder at heart. The kind of person goes stars and has wacky strategies with multiple Gemini's that form and disband. Just think of that of playing ahead to do that just to get extra influence income. I like to build up. All right, I'm gonna pause. This is taking a while on the load. Here we go. Loading up the save now. I apologize. That took a second. And unfortunately, I won't be doing anything with this until 6% technology research bonus for naval engineering. Really? Not sure that's actually applying. Research speed bonuses. Oh, 6%. Yeah, it is applying. Making these things all a little faster. Cool. One more reason to build more research facilities and why it's double win for big nations like the US. One of the reasons I'm doing Civ longer. And people talk about optimal strategy, which all those optimal industry strategies things, they're not really optimal for any nation. They're optimal for Germany. The assholes who do that almost always play Germany and they just want the conceit of Germany being like this world crushing industrial power. So they calculate out the strongest army possible when they invade the Soviet Union, always at the historical time frame, never even with a later or earlier war. Where they'd have different focuses done. That was all before they reworked Germany's trade, but much more complex, which those people hate because they like to just spreadsheet stuff. But things are a little different now with the experimental facilities because you may want to build those and you'll need more civilian industry for them. That adds in consideration. For the US, you got no starting anti-air, so if you're worried about the intercontinental bombers that the Germans can now get, you might need to add, at least in the eastern seaboard, the New England East Coast, maybe even Gulf Coast. Well, maybe not that, but at least these air zones, you might need anti-air to deal with eventually intercontinental bombers if you have a late war. You may need to account for eventually nukes showing up. You might want, for instance, to use smaller divisions and spread them out because you can lose half the strength in men of a division if it's in a province that gets nuked. I think it's half. or was it 3/4? So spreading divisions out, not putting too many in the field, keeping equipment stockpiles to replace divisions quick. The strategy all evolves. Bloody Swedes decide to join the Axis despite going communist. That is annoying, and I'm pretty sure devs didn't add an AI path for the communists to go otherwise. Only players can do it, which is stupid, and just shows the center left anti-communist bias of the devs. Honestly, I think, although they made their communist path more virtuous than the others, if you don't work with the Nazis with like universal basic income, it's one of the most fleshed out, and yeah, you can be the good guys as Swedes, but Swedish communists, but I don't know. Of course, the whole way the game is set up is honestly to push the political views of the devs, and subtly you see a lot of ways it's biased, and there's no such thing as unbiased media. It's the reality. Anyways, 8 days wear group, and then I'll be filling out my cabinet, saving up political power to improve worker conditions. After which, I will be doing focuses for war support. Boom, boom. Actually, I'll be doing this, those, and then guarantee the American dream. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 350 days. So yeah, I could do a set of anti-communist raids after improved worker conditions, and I do need to do some lobbying because I don't have enough support in Congress for the Selective Training Act just yet. So as soon as they start improved worker conditions, I'll probably start doing small lobbying efforts. Just get that done as soon as possible. I don't want to delay it. All right. Long-term investments might not be optimal, but it works for the builder and me. Eventually, I'll go and do some stars, but it's a very complex game, and my long COVID, and especially the very cold I've been having to deal with, cold conditions. But even before that, just my long COVID, being tired all the time. I don't really want to get into that just yet. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna pause this and back. Sorry about that. I had to check windows were closed here because some were open because it was actually a little warmer outside than in here during the day because things average the nighttime temperatures. But if I remember staying with, had open windows. I make sure they didn't leave any open. I also microwave some hot beverages to try and keep myself warmer. Arrange some blankets. So, last video, same day, earlier, I got a little to eat. Watched a thing on with a little of a Bernie Sanders video. He doesn't have any real solutions to how people are going to actually deal with the Trump stuff. Just listing Trump's wrongdoings. It's like, great, everyone knows he's a piece of shit. You got a solution? No, because obsession, liberals and progressives like him have with the rule of law. Yes, the law is important, but when it's obsession, he can't even hint that maybe some of his supporters might need to hold protests that might be declared illegal or general strikes or whatever. And I'm not saying they should. I'm saying like that's one way, or something like say, okay, you're not going to fix it. Maybe you should leave the country and organize resistance outside of it, my supporters, or there's any number of things he could do. But instead, he has a completely ineffectual just listening. And then I also listened to a little bit of things. Socialism for All is this Marxist Leninist channel, but as audiobooks and things, was listening to a little bit of it was something like Trotskyism, permanent counter-revolution. I don't know. I'm not a Marxist Leninist, but it's interesting to hear what they say about each other and the debate between the Trotskyites and the rest of them. So they both accuse others of each other of lying constantly. So obviously, someone's telling the truth, or maybe there's a little bit of lies on each side, and discerning what's true, what's not, and most likely where things fall between the two. Though maybe not. The truth doesn't always lie midway between. Sometimes one group is just telling the truth and the other lying entirely. That can happen in the world. This idea of the truth always lies midway between has been exploited by the powerful and rich endlessly to say, oh, well, we have somehow the truth on our side. No, you probably don't, actually. Very often. I mean, politics pro-base can lead to ridiculous actions like the Swedes allying with the Nazis because they're so afraid of the Soviets. And what really is they're letting their petty nationalism get in the way of an international collaboration. Although they can have a pro-Soviet leader, I don't think the AI ever picks them, which is probably got more to do with the devs being pricks than it being unrealistic or anything. Oh, the Agala needs repairs. Florida? Really? No, go repair in Panama. Alright, in the Panama Canal. In a multiplayer game, I'll probably hold into that eventually after flipping form a collaboration government there. I don't know, it doesn't have any build slots. I'll only get any if I improve the infrastructure. It's probably never gonna happen, so it's tiny. If he's in a faction with me, I think he can skip Operation Just Cause, which comes where the Mexicans try and seize the Panama Canal in a border conflict. Seize the Panama Canal. Is not in faction with the United States. I'm pretty sure they bypassed it if they are. So if I join his faction, so you can bypass that and still get to rescind the Mexican concession? No. Fortify Canal? No. Actually, he doesn't need anything below that, so maybe not worthwhile. So in that game, I might need to ally with the British or the Soviets to join wars or something. Anyways, let's go. There's a lot here, and I'm trying to keep track of it all. Oh! I can deploy these guys. And should. Training engineer. Exercise. I don't want him to gain more equipment necessarily. I got more rifles than most. I'm not sure what I think what I've noticed is if there's multiple support companies, engineer battalions don't gain any of their defense, offering defense unless they have support equipment. But if it's engineers the only support company, it seems that just having infantry equipment gives them their defense. I don't know if the game is lying to you with one version or it changes somehow. It's actually weird. This implies the not getting defense in the engineers, so it's probably lying in the division thing. They need support equipment. But yeah, support equipment's expensive, so I'll get it to him a little later. I doubt there's enough time for these guys to reach. Higher levels of experience. Wait a second, 10k inch exercise division, really? These guys are tiny. Yeah, they definitely need that's Take Little Rock. This is more. Yeah. These guys are gonna have to hang out on this open plain and defend. These guys are just asking to get critted. 8 defense, 9. 8.2. I don't even think I can get them the equipment soon enough. think I need them to defend here. This better defensive terrain. These engineers can hang out here and make any enemies pay for the land, delay them. All those guys hopefully get more equipment. I don't know. Maybe I should put them in Albuquerque instead. Let's see. Heavy water. 8.29. Next one to get there. Albuquerque doesn't actually. I don't have to defend it. Let's take to get there. 8 hours. That's the most defense can. You know what? I don't like the idea of this. Any of them going alone. 8, 9. These guys will defend the northern part. He's the southern. You know what? Yeah. Just because I want the ones that are next to each other on the west. It doesn't really matter that much. I'll have to reinforce the divisions that are here. Or actually, what am I saying? I'm gonna flip that. And the reason is simple. Here. Sorry. Here they don't have a river to defend them, so actually these guys, they have advantage over and mounds. The AM might not even attack here, or they might attack those divisions here, but not move in really. The multi-part game, they didn't even bother attack here, but I'm legitimately a lot weaker than there, and I might have trouble even taking north this over here, these hills. So, cool. There, 64 battalions training. So yeah, the Trotskyites, the rest of the Marxists, they constantly fight with each other and accuse the other of lying. Figuring out the truth of that debate is probably important. Some people may not think it is, but it is. Oop. No, leave this be for now. Focus on what's in my reach here to change, though. Some of the clearest weather I've seen in a while. I should probably send these S-class subs south soon. Hang on the Caribbean. The crews can spend time in the War of the Panama. I'm really lucky. The rain will end. I doubt it. They'll merge into the Caribbean S-Class subs. If I try and merge the whole group, it could actually. This guy's emerging. Let's go straight to the location of the, instead of going all the way to port. Yeah, but anyways, U.S. imperial possessions in Panama. If you doubt the U.S. is an empire, why does the U.S. control the Panama Canal? Just ask yourself that. Or why did it? It doesn't anymore. Although Trump's trying to take it back. It signals a return to at least the petty imperialism of the past instead of neo-colonialism, which the U.S. has slowly lost its grip on its puppets, and more countries are not under, like in the height of the Cold Wars when neocolonialism was at its height. Now countries are more and more defying the U.S., and I think for a while there's been ruling class concern about that, and Trump represents a certain segment of the elites who want us to return to annexing territory and such. Hey, if I was an imperialist, I would say that's a smart idea. Trying to dominate territory without actually annexing it is a mistake the Roman Empire made. It's later history and it did not work. But I am not a socialist, and imperialism is vile, and humanity can do better than that. Maybe if I lived in the distant past, if you're going to be imperialist, you might as well be smart about it. But we have better ways forward for humanity now. We don't need to revert to that stuff. I'll get the hearts in a sec. There's too darn many divisions here. In fact, I'm not going to make you guys sit through all this. I'll pause and I'll come back when it's done. And welcome back. I did a bit of adding battalions. Wasn't perfect. But I'd said, well, these divisions really, they have terrible levels of equipment, and so they're going to continue training these mounds until such time as I can. Well, I will eventually add battalions to them, but with them hanging behind and train up. This guy's, or at least fighting alongside the engineer brigade, but we'll probably also get some more. Said I'd put some men here if they get driven back. Well, as the second line of defense, it's a kind of defense in depth. Excuse me. Got these guys you can try and cut off divisions from coming here, or at least cut off supplies of any divisions that make it across the server. I don't think this is going to be like the multiplayer game where I'm overestimating the Confederacy's strength too much. Maybe somewhat, though. We'll see. I still got more battalions as I produce more rifles, more still in training that reinforce various points. Also, the old stuff with Navy with having the subs actually merge into the Caribbean S-class subs. Anyways, let's go. And music. Or, I can hold off on that a second while I get my bearings again. I also went in bathroom and some hot liquid. For those of you who don't know, the situation I think I explained, disabled long COVID, staying with family. It's not a great situation with currently heat not working. And the government screwed me out of SSDI because the key job I worked was for a university, and so didn't have to contribute to payroll tax, which it's not something 20 whatever year old is watching for, or even realizing that that could be used to screw me out of SSDI if they got disabled. Nobody at that age is thinking they're gonna get disabled after all. No sane person that age, anyways, or normal, maybe not sane. Some people are hyper cautious and because they've had a family member got screwed or something, I'm sure, by the system. But not many people, anyways, are going to be aware of these risks. All looks good. Also redid. I'm not sure how many mil I'm gonna get done, but there should be 3 that I lose to Neo-Confederates. I arranged it like so. I want the high efficiency rifle production to all just continue and be M1 factories upon M1s that were just constructed. They'll be at the bottom of what I keep in case of like damage to factories in border states, kind of thing. I say that, but what border? Well, there's West Virginia, I guess. That's California, Oregon, Washington. Yeah, all right. Whatever. Anyways, no, because it redistributes all the factories when I don't want to do it. Anyways, let's go. I think it redistributes all factories and Civil War breaks out. Wouldn't want something to shift to this line from this one, which actually has full efficiency and replaces them ones for training purposes. So he's training to be done. And like operations, spy missions, that kind of stuff. SAMP collab networks. Even just a very low level rifle is enough. No, I might get over with penalties. I might just merge in battalions of these just to make sure they get have enough rifles. As I'm attacking here. Well, let's see. I may attack with 3. 32 widths. That's 96. Yeah, no, I'm not going to suffer over width. In that situation, he's probably grown up to something bigger before I use it. Alright, anyways. I give that. This is a ridiculously under-equipped division. They obviously need more rifles. It was probably meant to be merged into something I forgot, or I don't know how it got like that. Some mistake somewhere. Or something I missed, forgot about. Just waiting, running focuses, running tech, training troops. Simple stuff that needs doing. Oh. These guys can be, I guess they'll be turned to 15. match this. Boom. Boom. 14 self-attack, that's nothing. Definitely needs more rifles. They all do. Getting rather close with the number of rifles in storage. I should stop adding battalions to training. 15 and still a couple things in queue. Wow. What are pairs going? Things I do have some Dark Arts in Virginia. I'm putting to use some repairs. Of course, the Confederacy could inherit some of these ships, so maybe it's not the wisest idea. Specific ships that they're earmarked to get, apparently. Or a specific number of certain classes that existed in the beginning. What? Do that. Accelerate that Farragut. I'll put off some repairs because steel being in greater shortage. Repairs don't use steel, and they'll be in greater shortage during the Civil War. I mean, I have plenty now, but I'll be in shortage then. So the queues to be too long. I'll pull the Quincy out of Norfolk, though, I guess. Just lead to another ship being repaired. Anything in the south possible. Looks like I might have put the USS Chicago under repairs. Oh no. Oh. More troops that can be deployed. So both these are a little underequipped if I'm gonna actually attack. 28th be changed to a this. So the 10th infantry. go. 20 soft attack. Starting a little better. Still low. Boom. 20 soft attack. This is a less important front than Nashville, though. Just gonna pick one of them. 49th, because they're trained or no. This guy's well equipped. Didn't I just change them to a 12K exercise? Or it didn't work on the 47. Okay. Trying to divide the rifles up semi-evenly. There's a chance of any suffering crits on the defense, at least. I can always wait longer while I get unleashed. The AI is smart enough to send it. Not call it off halfway through as they often do, because I see I'm producing some rifles like, Northstar doesn't need quite as many rifles now. I'll just cut down the one. I'll just cancel the unleashed to send a new one. It's less and keeps doing it, and you never get any rifles. They keep revising it. I've seen the AI do that way too much. Alright, reach out to the wear group is complete. R&D office. Not even sure I should put off that long, and definitely not putting off any longer. Political power. Consumer goods. Financial expert and an editor. Definitely need the political power for a variety of things. Or actually, I can get improve worker conditions done quicker if I save up just 10 days of progress. Go into negative and even do small lobbying act. Let's do that. Take advantage of the 10-day buffer. Turn down the volume slightly. It's going to focus better. Oop. Another armory raid. What the heck? This one in North Carolina. You must select certain events. It's going to fire a lot more than others. When the war happens, or it's, I don't know why my RNG, especially when I've exited the game and reloaded before, it really shouldn't be doing this. Most bothersome. Arsenal of democracy, as I aim to be. Democratic socialism is still democracy. Far-right anti-communists cry about it. That's just the facts. Crack socialism is still democracy. Mm. The ship's back to exercises quickly. Might have been a mistake to even put him in for repairs. Need the Navy XP for doctrines. I know I'm being a little bit of a prick. I'm not making friends with saying that the far right anti-communists cry about it, but I have dealt with way too many of these people going around just being toxic online and refusing to listen to evidence counters the beliefs. Like, they say that about left-wingers, but left-wingers will hear you out and then say you're wrong because the facts don't support what you're saying. These far-right people will just, leftists will listen. These far-right people will just shut their ears and refuse to listen and say you're evil because you're leftist. And yeah, it's entirely different. People created this false equivalency between fascists, and it's a false equivalency, as in not correct, not accurate. There's a reason they call false equivalencies false. I might make the Montana a little sooner. Make sure I don't miss this. Even earlier than that. I might regret this, but where's Colorado? USS Colorado. Seems to be in pretty good shape. And Nevada. Cancel the battleships. They produce the most efficient. Navy XP. We've got too many ships in. Parakeet. Need ships staying idle. I'm rethinking, considering that the Confederates will get full repaired ships this way, rather than have damaged ships. The Oregon stuff done sooner. There. Shoot. I'm being dumb. I'm sure it made some kind of sense. I can now run. I don't think I missed today. Improve work conditions. I heard the thing that was telling me I can do that. A small lobbying effort. It's the most cost-effective way to turn political power into congressional support. Let's turn the R&D office, which technically puts me at -2 political power. I didn't lose any time. With the tech slot and start on this part I'll need for the conscription. As well as old age pensionate. It doesn't hurt to have a little bit of buffer on this. We're doing a small lobbying effort for a while. To the future now. Finish the Kentucky. Yeah, speaking of Kentucky. This priority equipped division. Let's go. Shoot. Well, let's give it to this guy for like a day. It doesn't matter. Sit there. Gain more experience than if it was in the queue. Actually, I want to merge in 2 divisions. Or 2 battalions into this. And skip stir 11, go to 12. Because I think each time I change template, I might lose a little XP. That was fixed after this, but on this version of the game. Cool. Kentucky factories. There's Oklahoma infrastructure. It's more likely this gets swapped off to avoid overflow at some point. Maybe, but actually I need to buy rifles if anyone's selling them. Those expensive ones. Yeah, these guys are selling. They're 600. Get them as soon as possible. Single shipment. Ireland's selling some. So we can get them right to doing their thing. Buy some from my vassal. Don't mind if I do. Canadians. I could do this. 2 parallel contracts. Remember. So much for infrastructure in Oklahoma. Just barely 1,000 rifles stockpile in case of another event. Okay, y'all some music. Y'all gotta listen now. I think it's not a very convincing southern accent, but it's better than some. I do know people who are from... I was about to say something to give away too much about myself again. I'm sure some of you guessed what I was about to say. Let's pre-deploy. Oh, well, I could do 2, but... These are all going to switch to a 12K. Says division. And consolidate. I should start thinking about going heavy on particular divisions so they might actually reach train, but I'm trying right now is to minimize the number of crits on the defense when entrenched. Not a very ambitious goal, I'm aware. 'Just be able to hold the line is the first priority and be able to attack as the second. Oh yeah, 6.3 engineer. I wanna defense rating that's that low. Do a 7.3 extra does 14 width. Honestly, 12 width was just too small anyways. Why would I ever make something so tiny? Oop. Should have been over here. Can get there in 9 hours. From Missouri to North Carolina, civilian factory. Cool. More build slots, and I think North Carolina now has 4 extra build slots. Even number is a good thing because I think it might be kind of half out the Civil Wars before they, quote, fix that. I say quote because I'm 9% sure that Paradox didn't fix it. Just said they did yet again. It was supposed to be fixed, previous bug fix, and it's still. Although, Correct me if I'm wrong, you know, leave in the comments if that bug's actually been removed. But yeah, now, when these guys get a bit of support equipment, they might have enough defense for their intended role. Bigger divisions, though, are also useful, so that I'm not needing a zillion generals. It just clutters the interface. Prevents me from focusing on... I think experience gain is somehow proportional to the amount of damage done. Some bigger divisions get generals more. I could be wrong. Could be lots of small divisions is actually better. Is this number of divisions or something? This is 9.3. 18 with engineers, and they still don't have enough. Well, they are in hills, but God. Overthinking it. I need to add more equipment and men to that. This was actually full equipped. This wouldn't be a very sensible division. Wide engineers is something this wide. It should be able to avoid crits, but when it's under equipped, a small fraction of the defense. Next to men still get more organization, while the engineers still turn support equipment into a ton of defense. Well, yeah. So enlarge that engineer division. At some point, probably turn into proper infantry division with support artillery, but artillery is a limited supply. That will hurt the division org even more. The engineers are already reducing work. There's a certain something to the song. I wouldn't call it noble exactly, but foreboding, and it fits with being kind of middle finger to the empires that tried to dominate the world and exploit people to enrich themselves. All this stuff about spreading a culture around the world that has excuses, lies. Empires in history mostly just wanted to get rich at the expense of people whose labor they exploit in colonized countries. Hopefully this won't be necessary, but ladder shooting, 98 days. Could be. Base time 165 days for the various torpedoes. If I had done this instead, 220. It's probably still good. reason I need to not have so many ships. Alright, Arkansas's had enough repairs. Since the Oklahoma, I want to get those battleships back into exercises. And touched up. And I want more dockyards and construction to grow. Newport News quicker. Current rates. Again, just under 4 funds a day. 80 days, they'll have about 2,200. So it'll still take around 250 days to shoot. They're not going to get there without the ladder shooting. Heck, they may need... It's a noxious song. Many ladder shooting just to get there as well. Let's see. 2,200, they'll still have 1,000. That'd be 250 days. Yeah, oh well. Still. More ships. Medium repair party, like anywhere else. I think it's badly damaged. I hate getting the thing telling me a ship's, well, badly damaged. Alright, nah. Just leave it on low repair priority for now. Alright. Yeah, I'll forget about it. I'll leave it on medium. I think that leads to them break off sooner in a fight. I don't want to lose a battleship in a skirmish. It's definitely not necessary. If they get hit with like a crit from a torpedo destroyer. Say due to screening failing, or due to an admiral with the Lancer tree if they are smart enough to sign those. They'd have to take the trade interdiction doctrine, so I doubt it. Cool. Okay, and here we have an engineer with division with only 45 defense, so it'll be a little more with the support equipment. There's a couple these with pretty sure this will actually reach trained faster with extra equipment. Drops from 69 to 61, but it gets experience like twice as fast, so yes. 59th Infantry. Pick one of the newer songs. Seriously great. Nah, that's too foreboding for me. Japanese cometh. Oh, I can, 60th Infantry can gain. Do this right now. Too many of these priority equipment, it was leading to unpredictable distribution of the foreign guns. Here's the last 4. Now I know where they're all going to be. And so, whoa! I did not. What the heck just happened there? I accidentally just hit the space bar and I was trying to hit. God. This 36th Infantry and some less experienced, they might actually reach trained. These 2 trained battalions. This song sounds like the clanking of irons. I guess the idea of preparing for war, preparing war material. The music is right on, even if there are other problems with the DLC it came with. Not a bad song. But we turn them ones off. So I want to make sure. Let's pull out of the Springfields for a little. There's other places I might want them ones. That'll enable them for now here. So even the expansion of the divisions. We really just need to get equipment out. Hour and 10 minutes here. Hurry the heck up. 1 soft attack, 1.2. Wow. These guys are so under-equipped. Maybe over-focusing that one section more. Thirteen, 12, 10. Gosh, the 44th Infantry does not have enough men for that much width. I mean, enough rifles that much width. There we go. Still not much. This will be a way to large to have artillery and stuff. Wait, what just happened to all the M1s? Oh shoot, there was that much demand for one of these guys, wasn't there? Rifle time. War gets closer. Buy some of my own M1s. Back from Canada. All right, 5 times 30. 4 times 5. 50. 750. There we go. What's the rifle sales? Diversifying the stocks to get finer control over stuff. So currently we have undisturbed isolation. No, even then, it doesn't make sense to buy and sell rifles, I don't think. I sell them, I get economic capacity surplus. More. But it was what would have gone through the state infrastructure. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But anyways, since it's minus 5%, it gets doubled. Whatever. Probably shouldn't have been doing the weapon sales before. Them ones. Planes and stuff I'm not gonna be buying, sure. I wouldn't mind reducing my artillery support equipment fraction a little, but rifles, no more sales. Still selling Nostra. Does redistribute to certain nations who might feel they more need rifles, though. Devs really ought to have done the weapons markets differently. The fact that economic capacity surplus isn't affected by state infrastructure means you're just throwing away value if you sell weapons and buy weapons later, even though theoretically this should be making a profit. If you have money for a while that you were able to invest, and it just doesn't make sense for industry to be destroyed by trade like this. It's definitely bent to all the paradox games of trade destroys a lot of value and destroys a little. There's the infrastructure of trade is not free to maintain, although it usually comes with comparative advantages of specializing and such. But sheer amount in most of these games that gets destroyed, it's way over top. Oh, that must have revoked whatever's going on with them ones. Just over 1,000 in case of another armory raid, since I've gotten way too many of those. Since they equip 10,000 men, each of those is like losing 10,000 manpower. Except also, there's an event where you can lose 10,000 manpower. But this also means I'll lose more men of my own. It's even worse than that. It's one of the worst events you can get, and I've gotten it so many times. Terrible luck. At this rate, I'm not going to get the Montana stuff done on time at all. Off this factory in Pennsylvania and just start on this Montana. I'd be like 60 days, and then I have like 50 to build a factory, a mill. That might not be doable. Days gives 1,000. 56. Might not quite work, yeah. Won't work. Oh well. It's gonna be a long time until I build factories in Montana. February 2nd, that's 4 months. That's still not soon enough. Since some of the other lines will be done before then. Should have planned ahead and gotten work on the infrastructure sooner though. Where's Montana? It's way up here. Yep. Going from 40% to 50. That's like taking like I think a seventh. So it's like 1,000 industry savings in the military factory about. And ties up. Infrastructure ties up 6,000, so it's tied up 5,000 industry for a very long time. Until that, I think about 400 days, and it would have come up behind that. So it might have been worth it, might not have actually. Let's see, Flight Tech A mounts, probably. Won't actually be putting on anything, but this needs size 6 to a mechanical genius for reliability on destroyers. Oh no, this all requires splinter protection. Yeah, splinter protection next, I suppose. Speed is very useful, even the armor is not. For dodging torpedoes, it's the only protection against them. Gridley. Okay, shoot. That happened, I think, before they had retaken Barcelona. Yep, which means the commune starts in East Aragon, Guadalajara. Not as strong as they should be at all. Demand ministerial positions thing remains in the Republic, interestingly. Why don't they lose their national brigades with this? I thought they weren't supposed to. Thought they're supposed to keep their national brigades when they give a second. I think that's a bug. Seen it before. The Spanish Commune Rising, they're supposed to have corps, which they do, but they're also supposed to keep their national brigades. And this is supposed to disappear off of Spain. Like, this actually guarantees they'll eventually go communist. It might actually get crushed because commune only has that much manpower. less than the Republic. It's because they didn't have Barcelona. They appear much weaker, I'm pretty sure. I'd specifically set Spain to go its POUM path so that the socialist bulwark thing could happen. Frustrating. When the AI's the path they screwed up, and then the Republic will win, and they'll probably, who knows what path they'll take, but probably some nonsense about fighting the Soviets. Devs love to have everyone attack the Soviet Union. They have this serious chip on their shoulder against them, I swear. Of course they do. They're Scandinavians, and their petty nationalist pride comes before anything else. Anyways, this video's gone an hour and 27 minutes. That's kind of long. I don't want to have to cut it, so finish it here. I don't want to have to cut too. So, viewers, I wish you all the best. Take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves, and may always find a gangster and lead you home. Until next time, adieu and best luck.